Hi, everyone. Recently, in one of my writing classes, I asked people to write about a certain food or a food experience that they remembered. And as they did, as they wrote, amazing things came forward, remembering parts of their life surrounding this food that they had forgotten. And as they wrote, they filled in some of the different parts of that experience. I wrote about making strawberry jam, and I would like to share with you my story. And there were parts of this story that I had long forgotten. So, writing can be such a tool for us where we delve in, we begin, and we allow from the depths of us all sorts of amazing things to come out. This is my story about making strawberry jam. When I first put my eyes on the flats of strawberries, they were sitting on the lowered tailgate of that well-used farm truck. I was drawn in by that wonderful and long familiar smell of field-grown strawberries, organically grown, the hand-printed sign stated. I nodded, knowing that they were not the berries that had been grown on Plump Them Up juice and sold in grocery stores. These were like the strawberries that we used to pick so many years ago. These were berries that were small and sweet and full of flavor. I'll take one flat, my daughter said. We had stopped by the farmer's market early, before the crowds came. Her two sons were at home, still in pajamas, watching cartoons with their dad. We knew that by 8 a.m. the market would be full of people, and the strawberries would be sold out. It was, after all, the 4th of July weekend in Boyne City. I was visiting family and soaking in the Midwest green. The early mornings were moments of sitting on the long porch with a view of meadows and long grasses, surrounded by trees. Each morning, a part of my hidden self peeked out to catch the view. A cup of coffee, 2 cats, and an old dog would join my daughter and I before the rest of the world woke up. After 2+ years of COVID living, I felt socially awkward, and yet we carried the flat of strawberries back to her car. My daughter talked about making sweet strawberry jam while I was there in Michigan visiting. I hadn't made strawberry jam for many, many years. I smiled. The 4th of July arrived, and this year we didn't attend the in-person Line the Streets parade in this small town. We watched the live streaming and were all content to do so. We watched firework displays from the front porch after 10:30 p.m. When dark arrived in northern Michigan, delighted children in pajamas cheered without having to endure very loud, explosive noises. The furry dog slept on the porch, guarding and protecting us in all her old age. Eventually, days after the 4th of July, we set out to make the jam. I was tasked with the washing of and removing green tops off these luscious berries. My youngest grandson sat beside me. 5-year-old Max was wanting to help. His blonde hair was tousled and joy bounced as he gobbled up luscious berries. I told him how his mama and aunties would go berry picking with me at farms where you could pick your own berries. Across vast acreage, mothers and children picked baskets of fruit. In the berry patch, you could eat as much as you wanted to. Of course, more berries were eaten than put into tubs. Children with red berry juice faces and hands returned to their homes, happy and full, while their mothers prepared for the upcoming work of berries, freezing, jam, strawberry shortcakes, the days of summer from years past. I didn't tell this grandson how I, later in life, went to the berry farms and picked enough berries to make my rootin' tootin' strawberry wine. The wine that fermented in 2 5-gallon glass jugs, the steady sound of the airlock allowing the process to continue. The day spent filling recycled wine bottles full of summer glory. And then there was that liquid, that sweet wine so strong that those drinking it began to stutter after the second glass. I never quite figured out actually how that was. The berries must have been so sweet that there was a greater alcohol level than wine usually allows. Strawberry wine, days of my past. And here I was, decades later, with those same magical strawberries. As I remove the tops, they are placed in a large glass measuring cup. 5-year-old Max watches until the container was partially full. He would then pour the berries into the bowl by the scales. We took our work quite seriously. We were a good team. And when all the berries had been washed and cleaned and weighed, they were set onto the stove in a huge, shiny pot to boil. Instead of using Cerdo for pectin, my daughter placed apple and lemon peels into a cheesecloth and bound it with string. How did she learn this, I wondered? And I smiled, knowing she was brilliant in so many ways. Now everything was set, strawberries and sugar in the water with the pectin, boiling happily on the stove for half an hour. The smell of strawberries rose up to fill the kitchen as if waking from a dream. Joe Cocker was singing from the device, the echo device, which sat on the side of the counter. Then Crosby, Stills, and Nash began to sing once again. I was in my own kitchen of so many years ago. This year, this moment, reminded me of years and times and summers. Glass pint jars were sterilizing in a water bath and then placed on towels to dry. The lids and the bands and everything waiting, simmering, remembering, being. It was a glorious time, far away from 2022. In the time of strawberry jam making, we had stepped away from the wars in Ukraine. We had moved for a while from incessant mass shootings, an economy that was dropping, a day away from anger and frustration and disease. I was here in the Michigan kitchen again, far away from my California home, immersed in the making of strawberry jam. We were, as we have always done, preparing wonderful food that would be put up and used throughout the winter. In the long winters of our lives, it is these moments of strawberry jams, the jars of homemade love and labor, that remind us and call us back to laughter and sweet times. We can spread this jam upon toast and seemingly simple peanut butter and jam sandwiches to taste and savor the magic. Does it surprise you how something like making strawberry jam can call up courage from our depths? And so the writing of making strawberry jam called to mind so many parts of those times long ago, reminding me of joy, reminding me of vibrant times. What were some of the times in your life when the preparation or the eating of a certain food strings together times of joy?